Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Kyle Richards reveals her thoughts on stepping away from Housewives. Kyle Richards isn't sure when her time on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills will end. Speaking with People on October 23rd, the reality star says that 15 years on the show is a long time. "I don't know how long this can go on, how long I can go on for," she says. Kyle Richards is giving some insight into her future on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. The reality star, 56, caught up with People at Raising Brows, live hosted by Anastasia Soar and Oprah Winfrey on Thursday, October 23rd, when she shared that the day obviously will come for her to depart the long-running Bravo show. But it's not today. For now, Richards has already finished filming season 15 as the last remaining original cast member on the show. She first appeared on Rob in 2010 alongside since-departed castmates Taylor Armstrong, Camille Meyer, Adrienne Maloof, Kim Richards, and Lisa Vanderpump. It's been a long time. 15 years. It really is. It's a long time, Richards tells People while at the event, which took place at the Wilshire Rebel Theater in Los Angeles. "I don't know how long this can go on, how long I can go on for." Richards adds that there's been different times over the years where she considered her departure, but ultimately stayed on the show. "I think season 2, season 5. I can think of a number of seasons where I almost walked away," she says. "But 15 years is a long time and there's things I want to do, and it takes up a lot of time. And Portia Umansky is going to college, so who knows." Richards shares 17-year-old Portia, Alexia Simone, 29, and Sophia Kiley, 25, with ex-husband Mauricio Umansky. She's also mom to 36-year-old Farrah Brittany Al-Jafri, whom she welcomed with ex-Gurish Al-Jafri. Season 14, which last aired in April, explored Richards navigating her split from her estranged husband. At the time, she told People during the unforgettable evening benefiting the Women's Cancer Research Fund event that she needed to make that decision about returning to the hit Bravo series for season 15, as that the clock was ticking. "It's very difficult for your life to be out there and have the world weighing in on analyzing things and people not knowing you know the full scope of full details," she said, "and judging you without being able to explain everything. It's very difficult. So it depends on what year and what season whether I can handle it or not," she added. Garcelle Beauvais exited the series in March following the conclusion of season 14, whereas Rachel Zoe was announced to be joining the cast for season 15. She said at the time that it was time to sit with an amazing group of women and really talk about my new life and what that looks like. "It's very organic," Zoe, 54, told People of filming the new season. Kyle Richards never imagined a day when she would seriously consider stepping away from The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. For more than a decade, she has been the steady heartbeat of the franchise, its emotional center, its favorite narrator, and the woman who always managed to balance glamour with vulnerability. Yet now, after years of chaos both on and off camera, Kyle is speaking candidly about what life might look like without the Housewives diamond in her hand. And what she reveals may surprise everyone. It is late afternoon in her Encino home. Warm light drifting through tall windows, casting gold reflections across the marble countertops. The space feels quieter than fans might imagine, almost too calm for someone who has spent 14 seasons surrounded by cameras, confessionals, and carnage-level drama. But that silence, Kyle says, has become a welcome new companion. She sips iced coffee, crosses her legs, and admits that the show that once felt like an exhilarating whirlpool has lately felt more like an exhausting current threatening to pull her under. "The last year shifted everything," she says. "I've always been grateful for Housewives. It's given me so much. But at a certain point, I started asking myself who I was outside of it. It's not a declaration of resignation, at least not yet, but the significance of her words hangs heavy." Kyle joined Rob in 2010 as part of the original cast. Over the seasons, she became the through line of the show's narrative, weathering feuds with her sister Kim, betrayal from longtime friends, infighting among castmates, and intense public scrutiny. Her marriage, family, and friendships have been placed under a microscope for millions to analyze weekly. It's like living with the world's loudest opinion constantly echoing in your ear, she says. You start to lose track of your own voice. But it wasn't just the intensity of the public that contributed to her shift. The most recent season was perhaps her most personally challenging. Rumors about her marriage to Mauricio Umansky circled every corner of social media. Her evolving friendship with Morgan Wade triggered speculation that often felt cruel. Suddenly, Kyle felt stripped down, every rumor amplified, every emotion spotlighted. It made me wonder if this was still serving me, she reflects. Or was I serving the show, even at my own emotional expense? She doesn't regret her time on the series. If anything, she talks about it with deep affection, acknowledging the doors it opened, the opportunities it brought, the people it introduced into her life. But there is also a quiet ache as she discusses the toll. I'm a strong person, but being strong doesn't mean you're invincible, she says. Sometimes stepping back is the bravest decision. Doesn't mean disappearing. In fact, Kyle is clearer than ever about what she wants to explore. Her businesses, her acting career, and projects far from the tear-filled dinner tables that made her famous. I've always loved storytelling, she explains. Before Housewives, I was an actress. That part of me never left. It just got overshadowed. She's been reading scripts again, hosting more meetings, and dipping into producing. For the first time in years, there is no forced timeline, no impending cast trip or reunion seating chart weighing over her head. Freedom, she says, is addictive. There's this peace in waking up and knowing I can choose what comes next, she shares. That's something I never truly had while filming. Still, she acknowledges how deeply intertwined Housewives is with her identity. Fans watched her daughters grow up, followed her philanthropic work, saw her family's triumphs and heartbreaks. Viewers felt tied to her in a way that transcended television. That bond makes the thought of stepping away complicated. Part of me feels responsible to the fans, Kyle says. They've been with me through everything. Walking away feels like abandoning them. But her daughters have encouraged her to prioritize herself, advice that initially felt foreign to a woman who spent her life caretaking, mediating, and hosting. Watching them grow into independent adults has inspired her to question her own patterns. They tell me, Mom, you've given enough. It's okay to choose yourself now. Hearing that from them, it hit me hard. Still, any decision to leave is layered with nostalgia. Kyle admits she would miss the laughter, the absurd trips, the moments when the cast bonded over champagne or chaos, the camaraderie that formed in the most unexpected ways. There were days I laughed until I cried, she remembers, and days I cried until I laughed. It was all so big, messy, and unforgettable. She would miss the cultural impact, too. Housewives became more than a show. It became a defining thread in reality television. And Kyle played an irreplaceable part in shaping its legacy. I'm proud of what we created, she says. For better or for worse, we made history. But as she considers the next chapter, she describes a sense of grounded certainty. Life evolves. So do people. What made sense at one point may not forever. She pauses, contemplating. And that's okay. What would stepping away look like? Kyle imagines more time with family, more creative pursuits, more space to live without constant surveillance. She doesn't envision total retreat, but a rebalancing, moving away from the explosive and toward the intentional. I want to wake up and feel aligned with myself, not with a storyline, she says. For fans hoping she'll stay, her answer remains open-ended. I'm not saying I'm done, she clarifies. I'm saying I'm thinking. And I'm allowing myself the freedom to think without guilt. She has learned that stepping away from something you love doesn't mean abandoning it. Sometimes it means creating room for it to exist in a healthier way. Even if I leave, Housewives will always be part of my story, she says. But I want to see who I am when I'm not the center of it. The sun outside has lowered, painting the sky in copper and blush. Kyle leans back, thoughtful but at ease, a woman still in the midst of transition, but one who has found clarity within uncertainty. I spent years focused on keeping everyone else happy, she says. Now, I'm learning how to make myself happy. It's strange and liberating. Whether she stays or steps away, one truth is clear. Kyle Richards has earned the right to choose her next chapter, without apology, without pressure, without fear. It took me a long time to give myself permission to imagine a life outside of Housewives, she says. Now that I can, I'm curious to see what that life might look like. And as she walks into her future, she does so not as the woman audiences have watched for 14 seasons, but as a version of herself she hasn't yet fully met, one defined not by diamonds, but by authenticity, peace, and possibility.